Alright, what is going on, everybody? Today I'm here with a video that is going to be me saying one player that every team in the NBA that should trade before the trade deadline this season. So I'm going to go through all these teams and tell you one player these teams should trade. And if you guys want to see maybe more of these, like one untouchable, or one player each team should target, or one player each team should re-sign, or one player each team should draft, let me know in the comments if you guys want to see maybe something new like this. And let's see if this video can get over 650 likes if you enjoyed maybe these types of videos. So one player each team should trade maybe before the deadline, or just in general. I'm going to try to give at least one player for every team, so every team is going to be trading one player. So I might be wrong on these, and you guys might want to disagree with me, and that's fine. So let me know in the comments. So a part of me here thinks that the Sixers should trade one of their power forwards, one of the big men. Obviously, when they play with Covington at the small forward, they got Redick at shooting guard, they got either Bayless or McConnell at point guard, mostly McConnell, and they have Embiid at center. They got a lot of room at power forward with Simmons, Sarge, Booker, and Amir Johnson. Yes, they just got Amir Johnson this year, right? They signed him on a one-year deal, or maybe they signed him last year for a two-year deal. Or that was Boston that signed him. They have Booker, who they obviously traded Okafor for. They have Sarge and Simmons, who aren't going anywhere. So they just traded for Booker, so it would make the most sense to trade Amir Johnson, even though he is a good defender. Like, it doesn't really make sense for them to trade these power forwards. Like, it could have won the option, oh, they should trade, like Bayless, which, if they could find a trade partner for Bayless, that would definitely be a good scenario where they can unload the contract for 2 years, and then that will give them even more money in free agency to go after, like, a shooting guard type player. But yeah, I would either go Amir Johnson or Jared Bayless that they should trade, or just look to move at some point. For the second team here, the Bucks, we're just going to go in order. I have them trading my former UNC boy, John Henson, as Henson making, we'll see what 2K says, 11 mil, 10 mil, and 9 mil over the next 3 seasons. Isn't really the best option for him as a rim protector, paying him all that money when, yes, you're going to have to pay guys like Chris Middleton soon, you're going to have to pay Brogdon soon, you're going to have to pay Thon Maker, well, not soon, but in the future, and then obviously Eric Bledsoe is in 2 years, so you're going to want to have the most money possible. I think they should move Henson, either if it's getting a good rim protector center, which could be an option where they give up a pick, try to get a rim protecting center, cool. But then if, like, they move Greg Monroe, which is good, but if they don't feel like that, they could try to move Deldova. But even if they do move Henson, they can give more minutes to Thon Maker and let him progress as the starting center. So I think that's what the Bucks should do. On to the Bulls. This one's pretty easy. I think everybody agree with this, that they should capitalize on Nikola Mirotic's insanely skyrocketed value, that he's up this year. Obviously, him and Portis on the same team. You have 3 power forwards. You got to at least get rid of one of them. And given he's the oldest, he's an expiring deal, the way he's playing, he's going to ask for near 20 mil this year. He does have a team option, and whatever team, if he does actually have a team option, whatever team that picks him up will probably accept that, because if they don't, he's going to ask for probably a lot more than that. He'll be asking 20 mil, so I think they should definitely capitalize on Mirotic's value, either trading him to the Pistons, either trading him to the Jazz. They should definitely do it. Onto the Cavs. I don't have them trading a player. I have them trading, I guess we could go here and make it their Brooklyn pick. That's who they should trade. And yeah, like, if it's involving a player, if they can trade anywhere type, it's like the Brooklyn pick. If they could also move on from Channing Frye, and if they could get rid of the Shumpert contract, that's basically 2 years, because Shumpert's going to accept his player option, because no way other team is paying him 10 mil. If they could somehow get rid of these 3 assets, or even not even Frye, just the Brooklyn pick, which I think they should move, either it's picking up DeAndre Jordan, either it's picking up Marc Gasol, either it's picking up Lou Will and DeAndre Jordan. I don't think they're going to do DeMarcus Cousins, because the Pelicans are playing excellent right now. So that's probably fallen out. Maybe if they did that in the beginning of the season, that would have worked, but not anymore. So yeah, I have them pretty much trading the Brooklyn pick. I know they were in talks for getting George Hill for Frye, Shumpert in a second. And that makes sense for both teams, because the Kings, they're kind of just, they want to give De'Aaron Fox the starting role. And if they need money for free agency in 2 years, they're still going to be paying George Hill. Like, we can check out George Hill's contract. It's not pretty. It's 20 mil over the next 3 years. Well, it's actually not that bad of a contract, because he does have a team option the third year, if that's true in real life, for only 18 mil. That's not as bad as I thought, but the Cavs, yeah, I think they should definitely move on from the Brooklyn pick. So I've seen the Celtics. They're an interesting team, because they really don't need to do, like, their players, if they were to trade somebody, Marcus Smart could be somebody that they might want to pull up in maybe trade talks, or Marcus Morris. I really don't have a definitive answer for the Celtics, because Gordon Hayward's coming back. We don't know how he's going to fit into that system with pretty much 3 small forwards. But Brown, yeah, he's kind of started to play shooting guard. But I've seen that a lot of people think that the Pelicans are going to trade Davis to the Celtics. It's not going to happen. The way Anthony Davis might be to the Pelicans GM the most valuable player that the NBA's ever seen. Like Anthony Davis, I don't know his age off the top of my head. Was he 23? 24. He's played 6 years and he's had pretty much all-star years, 5 of them. So, even 6 of them, you can argue. So, they're not going to be trading him to the Celtics unless the Celtics gave up, Jason Tatum, 3 first-round picks, and, Kyrie Irving. They're not going to be able to get Anthony Davis, but if they can maybe move on from Smart, capitalize on his value, because it really wouldn't make sense. He's got extra a lot of money. Maybe if you're trying to win a championship this year, wouldn't really make sense, well, which they are. But if you want to capitalize on his value before he leaves in free agency, unless you plan on matching whatever he gets, but it really doesn't make the most sense in the world. How many years? Horford has 2 more years, and he has a player option, so basically 3 more years. But yeah, it really makes sense for them to kind of move on from Smart. Credit, they do like the defense he's providing there. Not really a good shooter at all. But yeah, we'll see what he ends up doing. What the Celtics end up doing. Clippers, I have 2 players. I have Lou Williams, and I also have DeAndre Jordan. Yes, I don't know. I don't care if the Clippers don't want to admit it. They're rebuilding. They should not contend for a playoff spot. There is no reason for them to do so. Signing Blake Griffin was good. You got your franchise player. Now build around him. DeAndre Jordan, obviously, he's about to be 30. He's about to ask for a lot of money. If you could trade these 2 players for the Brooklyn pick, I don't care if you're losing out on value for them right now. One's 31. One's about to hit his 30s. One's about to ask for $25 million plus, and the other one, based on the way he's playing this year, is about to get $20 million plus, and they both don't fit your rebuilding scheme. So if you could flip both of these for the Brooklyn pick, you do that in a heartbeat. I don't really see anything reasoning not to, but yeah, if I'm the Clippers, you're rebuilding, you're building around Blake, get your first round pick, kind of lose more games this year, try to get a top 10 pick, try to get that Brooklyn pick so you could maybe snag 2 top 13 picks, try to add if you want to add a Colin Sexton, if you want to add a Mo Bamba, if you could somehow steal an Aiden, or you could somehow steal a Porter, or a Doncic, or a Miles Bridges, you do so. You do that, you rebuild. They should trade Jordan and Williams. Grizzlies. One player that I think they should definitely capitalize on the value for is Tyreke Evans. I would think it would be smart in their interest to trade Marc Gasol, even though he's been there basically his whole career. Who was he drafted by? Was he drafted? He wasn't drafted by the Lakers, was he? No. It's not going to tell me who he's drafted by. I don't think he was drafted by the Grizzlies, but I could be wrong. So you can correct me on that in the comments. So all you Grizzlies fans that probably know more than me. They should, I think, if they could trade it for the Brooklyn pick, I would do it in a heartbeat. You would have 2 top 12 picks. Yeah, you have Conley. You have Dylan Brooks, who's not playing too bad this year. You draft an Aiden. You draft a Bamba. You draft a bag. Imagine they could somehow pull off, getting the Brooklyn pick, and they could build around. Mike Conley is 30, but he at least has 4 more good years. You imagine you could somehow pull off, getting Aiden and Bagley if the lottery goes your way or the rest of the season goes your way. You do so. So if they got a phone call, from David Griffin, right? Is that the GM? Or maybe he got fired. I don't know. Or is it Daniel Griffin? It's something Griffin that starts with a D. I'm pretty sure it's David Griffin. If you got a call, give us Marc Gasol. We'll give you, Channing Frye, Shumpert, and our Brooklyn pick. I would do so in a heartbeat. And unless the Celtics are willing to give you that Lakers pick for Marc Gasol, I would also do that. But if they don't feel like they want to move on from Marc Gasol, because credit, he's been there for the past 10 years, you don't have to. But then I would move Tyreke Evans. I would call up Portland. I would call up New Orleans. I know he didn't really work the best there, but they need wing players desperately. If you want to call up, not really, Cleveland. If you want to maybe call up Houston, it doesn't really, well, I would try to get at least a first-round pick or at least a future first-round pick from Tyreke Evans. If you want to call up maybe San Antonio, given that they might need another small forward, given that Leonard's out, but they have Rudy Gay, and they also have Kyle Anderson, or is it Justin? Kyle Anderson. So I would say that they should trade either Evans or Gasol at the deadline. Now on to the Hawks. The Hawks are in an interesting spot because they have probably the least talented roster in the NBA. I would say the Nets are kind of surpassed them. Schroeder, you have your franchise point guard, who's on a beautiful contract till 2020. Beautiful. You're going to look in a year or two how much money, or Kyle Lowry just got paid. You're going to see how much money Eric Bledsoe's going to get paid. You're going to see how much money Kemba Walker's going to get paid. You're going to love this deal, Hawks fans, as Hawks fans, for Dennis Schroeder. Yeah, credit, you're giving Bazemore way too much money. I don't think any team's going to want to take his contract. John Collins, you kind of found, not a steal, but a very good player from Wake Forest with the 19th pick in the first round. But yeah, I would say if you're the Hawks, maybe try to capitalize on Dwayne Dedmon's value if you could find another first-round pick. Credit, he is 28. You kind of want to rebuild. Try to get 2 first-round picks, or Ilyasova or Bellinelli. I wouldn't really move on from Prince just yet. He is actually having himself low-key a good year. I know he's a good defender, too. I don't know how he is in real life, but I thought he was a good defender. But yeah, if you can move Ilyasova, Dedmon, or Bellinelli for a first-round pick, I say you guarantee do it. Bellinelli, 31, Ilyasova, 30, Dedmon, 28. You're rebuilding. You are the team that needs to rebuild the most in the NBA, most likely. So I would do just that, and yeah, I would try to trade one of those guys for a first-round pick. Okay, guys, for the Heat, it's also an interesting one. I don't know much about who they're maybe coming up in trade talks. They do have a lot of shooting guards. Credit that Dion Waiters, I believe, is out for the year. And they have Ellington, Tyler Johnson, and Josh Richardson. I thought Josh Richardson was a shooting guard. Not sure. I'm pretty sure he starts. Could be wrong, though. I could be wrong. But they're coming up. They're playing well. If they maybe want to maybe flip, this could be a team that maybe wants to trade there first. I don't know if they are a part of the step-in rule right now. I think I can actually check that out if they've traded their first rounder recently. Yeah, I don't even know if they don't even have their first this year. I think the Suns have it. What is the protection on it? It's top 5. So if the top, yeah, they're not going to get their first this year. So I don't really know what they can move. If they would want to move, let me go back to the Heat. If they could move maybe one of their wing players, because they do have a plethora of wing players. You should obviously find a point guard and center. I know Olynyk's been playing well, and I think he's been playing more power forward for them, but I could be wrong. But if you want to maybe upgrade at the power forward position, I know Adebayo hasn't been playing terrible in his rookie year as a mid-first round pick. But if you want to maybe upgrade to power forward, but you don't feel like Olynyk is good enough to spread the floor, space the floor, you could just do that. Yes, they could run small ball with Winslow, but he's 6'7". James Johnson's 6'8". He could maybe run the floor. I don't know too much about what they do or schematically with Eric Spoelstra, but I would try to maybe move one of their wing players for a power forward. Credit either it's Winslow. Is he on a team option this year? Oh, he'll be only making $3 million, so I wouldn't, you don't want to move on from him just yet. They're not going to move on from Richardson, or they just paid James Johnson. So I don't know if they'd be able to trade Magruder, some team they can maybe swap to a championship team that maybe needs shooting, and they can give up a power forward, do that maybe with Ellington, or Tyler Johnson or something. But yeah, I would try to maybe upgrade power forward. On to the Hornets. A part of me says they should try to trade Kemba right now, even though Michael Jordan just came out and said, oh, I'm not trading him unless it's for Kawhi Leonard. Michael Jordan's an idiot. I love Kemba Walker. I think whatever the Knicks were, people saying, oh, they could trade Joakim Noah first and like Kyle O'Quinn for him. That's not enough value. I say either you trade him right now where he at least has 2 more years for a team to persuade him to come back. He's going to be asking for a lot of money. He'll be 29 when his contract's up. Maybe a team will sign him to a 4-year deal. But I say you trade Kemba right now. You try to move Kemba. You try to get another first-round pick. I don't know if you could trade him for the Brooklyn pick, but if you try to get another first-round pick for Kemba, you do it. Or you maybe try to trade him to the Suns. If the Suns would give up a first, like a future first, you do it. I don't know. Whatever it is, I would move on from Kemba. You need to rebuild. If you can maybe draft a Trae Young, draft like a Mikal Bridges, or draft like a Mitchell Robinson or somebody like that as a center, as a big man option that you can develop and somehow fix Malik Monk's problems as a shooter this year. You build around maybe Trae Young, you have Malik Monk, you have your backcourt for the next future, hopefully. You got to do something about, you cannot bring back Gilchrist when he's a free agent unless he doesn't want a lot of money. Batum might have the worst contract in the NBA. I think he might be worse than Parsons. It's bad. It's the next 4 years of making $22 million plus. That is bad. So I don't think they're going to find a trade partner for him necessarily. If you could somehow flip Dwight Howard, I would do so. He's having his best year in a while, probably since 2013, 2014, it looks like. So I would probably move on from him, or you could take 2014, 2015. But if you could maybe trade him, and if you could trade him and Kemba for like Cedi Osman and the Brooklyn pick and Tristan Thompson, I'd honestly consider that. I would honestly try to get 2 top 10 picks in the draft. You have your Brooklyn pick and your pick, and you build through there. It's something you got to do, but teams are too scared to rebuild. And their GM, I don't know his name. I know, it's the Asian general manager. Who is it? I can't name his name off the top of my head. Terrible general manager. Why did you give Cody Zeller this contract? Like, you gave Batum this contract. You drafted Kid Gilchrist in one of the most talented drafts with Damian Lillard, Harrison Barnes, Andre Drummond, Bradley Beal, and you chose Kid Gilchrist. They have a lot of problems on this team, but I would try to move on from Kemba or Dwight Howard. As much as they maybe don't want to, I would do so. Jazz, they're not doing good this year. Obviously, Rudy Gobert was injured for, I'm pretty sure, a period of time, but you have the insane talent of Donovan Mitchell that you got to ride. I think they should move Derek Favors. Try to get a young player. Try to get a future first. If you could trade Derek Favors to a contender team, maybe Miami. Hey, if Miami wants to give up one of the young pieces, maybe Bam Adebayo, if they would do that, I would try to capitalize on Favors' value. I don't think he's going to be worth. He's having a lot better year than last year. He's improved a lot. It looks like he's got his field goal percentage up because I'm in start today. So this is, I'm pretty sure, his real life stats as of today. But he's going to probably be asking for a lot more than 12 mil. You're the Jazz. You build around Gobert that you just paid a lot of money to, right? I'm pretty sure Gobert. Yeah, you're giving Gobert a lot of money. How much is he making? Yeah, you get rid of Gobert, who's making a lot of money. And then I say you move on. You build around Mitchell. You build around Gobert. If you want to keep Rubio, that's fine. But yeah, I would move on from Favors. Alright, guys, so I'm going to probably try to go through the rest of this a little bit quicker. This probably video is already at 15 minutes. I don't want this to go above, like, mid-20s. So we're going to try to do this second half a little bit quicker. So, on to the Kings. George Hill, I think if you could steal, I don't think they're going to get the Brooklyn pick for George Hill, but if you could maybe move him or Randolph, I would do so to a championship team. If you can even give Fox the minutes, trade Hill, get 2 expiring deals, or basically Shumpert will be next year, I would do so. New York Knicks, my Knicks, I would love for them to trade 4 players. I would love them to capitalize on the value of O'Quinn, Hernangomez, Kanter, and Lee, but I think they should definitely move on from veterans like Courtney Lee and Kyle O'Quinn. Even consider offers if they're getting for Enes Kanter. I would love them to keep Hernangomez and just try to ride him out as the starting center for the rest of the year. But if you're going to do so, I would try to trade O'Quinn, Lee, and Kanter. You're rebuilding. I don't want to make the playoffs. I've heard talks of KCP. I really hope not. But that's what I think the Knicks should do. Lakers, I would move Julius Randle if you can to a championship or to a team that would maybe want him, that doesn't mind paying him the money. I would do so. You have Kuzma. You already have Larry Nance Jr. You don't need a third power forward in that already log jam of a position. I would move on from Randle. If you can find a team for Brook Lopez or KCP, I would do so, but I don't think they will. I think they have a better option of finding Randle because his contract's a little bit more affordable for most teams. Orlando Magic, trade everybody at this point. Okay, I would trade Vucevic, Fournier, Elfrid Payton, because I wouldn't even bring him back, because I feel like he's going to ask too much money for what he actually could do on the court. Hazonia, and if you could trade Biyombo, and even Ross, I would trade 6 players on this team, but I doubt they do. I would just build around Isaac and Gordon, but we'll see. But I think if they can move Vucevic, who's on a nice contract for 2 years, they can move him or Fournier or something, I would do so. Dallas, it's interesting. If you can honestly try to steal value for Noel, because obviously he has done nothing there this year. He's only played 12 minutes, and their experiment is not working out there. It's not. I don't think they're going to trade him. Obviously, you want to build around Smith and Barnes, which they should do so. Barnes, former Tar Heel, I would do so. You're not going to really find a trade partner for Matthews. Is he on a player option? Yeah, so he'll be back next year. He'll accept that, unless he's an idiot. Maybe you can move Curry or Barea. Maybe Barea, because he's actually having himself a very good year. I think some team would want him that's contending that would want Barea, so maybe Barea. Brooklyn. At this time, I would have said Jeremy Lin. Obviously, he's out for the year. You probably won't be able to move DeMarre Carroll, even though he's having a good year. I don't know what team would want to take on his salary. Yeah, I would say either one of those guys. It's hard because, like, it's either their players that they won't trade, or it's veterans that are on big contracts. Like, nobody wants Mozgov. Nobody really wants Tyler Zeller. Nobody really wants Carroll. Maybe you can find a suitor for Zeller, because they're not going to be trading Dinwiddie. He's having a good year. They're not going to trade Russell. They're not trading RHJ. They're not going to be trading LeVert. They're not going to be trading Okafor. And they're not going to be trading... maybe they can find a pounder for Joe Harris. I feel like if they can maybe capitalize on him, 26, I would move on from Joe Harris. Maybe, yeah, that is somebody. Denver, did I know who I want to trade? I would move on from... Personally, Will Barton. I know he's having a good year in real life, but you have Gary Harris, who you just paid. He's going to be asking for a lot of money. He's 27, so he's probably in the midst of his prime. I would try to capitalize on his value for him. I don't know what you could personally get on the market, because I don't know if you can really trade for Reed at this point or Lyles, but I would say if you're going to roll, or if you could somehow find a trade for Moutier, he's actually not doing as bad as I thought, but he's been a bust so far. Him and Hazonia has been disappointments. But because you have Jamal Murray, who I love, and he's coming into that role nice as a point guard, only averaging 2.7 assists. Hopefully he gets that up. But yeah, you have a nice young backcourt of a 23 and 20-year-old. I would move on from Will Barton. I don't know if they would. Pacers. I don't know where they are in the playoff seeding right now. Yes, they'll probably push for a playoff spot at the end of the year. Obviously, you want to build around Oladipo and Miles Turner. I would move on from Derek Collison if they could find a team that needs a point guard or needs a backup point guard. Or if you can maybe move Bogdanovich, Thad Young, Al Jefferson, one of these guys. I would want to keep, like, obviously Sabonis. they probably won this trade with Oladipo and Sabonis. You got to keep them, and Turner, you can build around those three, which is what they should do. So if they can move any of their veteran contracts, you're not winning it all. You're not beating the Cavs. You're not beating the Celtics. You're not beating the Raptors. You're not beating the Bucks. If you're going to be a first-round exit, be a first-round exit, but at least try to get some young pieces for your veterans that make no sense being on this team, or make no sense, or try to get a pick or something like that. Pelicans, if this was the beginning of the year, I would have said DeMarcus Cousins. Now, doesn't really make sense for them to do so. If you could maybe move Rondo, because Jrue Holiday's been playing just fine, especially when they're all three on the court at the same time. If you can maybe move Rondo, a team that you can maybe steal a wing. I don't know if you can maybe do this through Miami or something like that. Imagine I don't know who their backup power forward is. Yeah. Unless you could somehow convince, yeah. You got, oh my god, you're literally paying these guys 15 mil to be utter trash. I don't know who they can get, but yeah, you definitely need wing help. Solomon Hill and Etuan Moore were such dumb contracts. Etuan Moore isn't the end of the world. It's only 8 mil, but Solomon Hill, he had one good second half for the Pacers, and the GM was like, "Oh, take the money." Dumb, but yeah, I would try to get a new small forward for this team, Tyreke Evans, but I know it didn't work out for previously. But hey, you have a team of Jrue Holiday, Tony Allen / Etuan Moore, Tyreke Evans, Cousins, and Davis. That's filthy. That's pretty good. Pistons, I would move on from Avery Bradley, and I think most Pistons fans would want to too. You give Luke Kennard the minutes for the rest of the year, because Bradley, you know, he's going to ask for a lot of money. I don't think they particularly want to bring him back, but maybe they will. I don't really know what's going on there. I would also say to maybe look at offers for either like Ish Smith, John Wall, or Stanley Johnson. I know if Stanley Johnson can get his trade value up, I would do so. He's been pretty much a bust from the 2015 draft. This was the Kristaps Porzingis draft. Yeah, him, Moutier, and Hezonja were 3 really bad top 10 picks. I guess Winslow's in that market too, but Winslow's a good defender. But yeah, I would maybe try to move on from Bradley. You can maybe move on from one of their, not vets, but like Ish Smith, 29-year-old, only making $6 million a year. You can maybe find a partner for Galloway or something like that, or John Moore, who they just paid. I don't know about that. And maybe Stanley Johnson. That's what I would do. For the Raptors, I would love for them to move on from Valanciunas, try to just see what they can get for him. But I don't really see it happening. You might want to clear up or figure out the small forward role. Obviously, you don't want to trade Nunby. He's been playing fairly well for them, and probably not the most minutes in the world, 21 minutes. Powell, I know they just gave a contract to. CJ Miles, they just did a sign and trade with Corey Joseph. It's an interesting team here in Toronto, because obviously you got your point guard in Lowry, you got your shooting guard DeRozan, you have your small forwards, you have your power forward in Ibaka, center in Valanciunas. So Pirtle, maybe him getting dunked on a couple times by Hugh Wiggins. Yeah, you might want to move on from him at that point. Nah, I don't know though. But the Raptors are an interesting team. I don't really have a definitive answer if I would say maybe CJ Miles, even though he's a good scorer, put him off the bench. Holy crap. They got 2 second-round picks here. Powell and Miles. That's pretty impressive. If I was the Rockets, I don't know, because PJ Tucker's been playing pretty well for them this year. So is Clint Capella. This is a team that I really wouldn't change around this roster too much. If you could maybe flip Nene for, maybe to the Heat, or maybe to somebody that's a wing player. Maybe if you could trade Nene for, in a first, but I think they qualify for the stepping role. Maybe you could trade one of your young players, like you trade Onaku, or you trade Troy Williams and Zhao Qi, and Nene for Derek Favors, something like that. I don't think they have a first round pick or Mirotic. That would be really cool to pick up. Or if you can maybe flip Anderson's awful contract. When they signed Eric Gordon, what a great signing. The same year, Anderson was not a good signing. He did come off a really good year, not a good defender, can still shoot the ball, but if you can maybe try to upgrade power forward, that's what I would do. Maybe if you want to upgrade small forward over Ariza, but Ariza's just fine. And I'm pretty sure he's a pretty good defender as well. So Spurs, with Kawhi out, I don't know. I would personally say, this is my mantra, or my idea. So, Aldridge has 2 more years? Wait, did Aldridge just sign a contract in real life? I did not know that. Did he actually just sign an extension until 2020? Wait, what? I am oblivious. I did not know that. I thought he was still a free agent at the end of this year. Okay, well, I'm an idiot. Because I'd be like, if he's a free agent this year, I would have personally gave you a whole explanation to trade him. But I did not know they gave him an extension. That is my bad on me. You can't trade Tony Parker. You can't really trade Danny Green. Even though if you could find a partner, but Danny Green is just such a good 3-and-D guy. You really don't want to move on from that. I would have personally not gave Patty Mills this deal, and you go with Dejounte Murray, who's a really good defender, or is a decent defender, and should be their point guard for the future. I would not have traded Patty Mills, but maybe if you could flip Patty Mills, I would do so. Even though he's the Aussie assassin, great 3-point shooter, I would just roll with Murray and Parker for the remainder of this. And I don't know who would want him, but if you could trade Patty Mills, maybe a first, and like Brian Forbes, if they could maybe flip Brandon Paul or something like that for like a center. Maybe if they could, maybe if the Hawks would maybe want a first-round pick for Dwayne Dedmon back, I would do that if I was the Spurs, but it's up to them. Suns, I would personally trade any center on their roster, but I don't think any team would want any of these centers. Maybe San Antonio would take on Tyson Chandler as a rim protector, because Pau Gasol, not the best defender in the world, and we all know that. That could be something they should maybe try to work out. Like, I'm pretty sure the Suns would want to get rid of his contract. Like, say the Spurs can give up. I don't really know, because their salaries aren't the weirdest thing in the world. Like, I don't know if they could take on that much money, because maybe you could trade, what is Anderson's contract? It's only $2 million, yeah. Like, you would have to maybe move on from Pau Gasol. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how the salaries still work out if you can give up, like, a first, Paul, and, like, Laverne. But I don't think the salaries would work out. But that would maybe make a trade for both teams. It would make sense. Give them a rim protector. Suns would move on from the contract where they can maybe give a restricted free agent money in free agency. Thunder, I'd personally trade Paul George for the Brooklyn pick if they could. But because if they think he's going to leave. If not, and he's going to stay, I would think they would want to upgrade starting shooting guard. Maybe move on from one of their power forwards in Grant or Patterson. But they do have Ferguson, who could maybe slide in, but he's 6'7", so shooting guard doesn't really make the most sense in the world. But if anything, I'm not going to give really a player they should trade. I would just try to upgrade shooting guard or get a better shooter. Shooting guard, like Abridas is alright, but I would try to get somebody, maybe, not like J.R. Smith, but like somebody that you can kind of do what you did with Sapolosha and James Harden. Yeah, James Harden who was scoring, you had Sapolosha who was the defender, and you played one and the other in different scenarios. Maybe you could consider that. Timberwolves, power forward seems like an upgrade. Maybe if you want to contact Derek Favors. I don't know if the they just traded their first round pick last year for Jimmy Butler, so they'd be part of the Stepien rule. So I don't know what talent they can give up, or if they want to maybe go after Mirotic. I would do so. Gibson is good. I just don't get Tom Thibodeau's mindset. He literally plays these guys 40 minutes a night. I don't get it, really. I don't get it. He plays like 7, 8 guys a game. I don't know, but I would try to upgrade power forward. Jeff Teague, not the greatest point guard in the world, but is serviceable there with 7.1 assists. Trailblazers, I would capitalize the value on Napier has gone with Lillard being out. I would trade him. If you could maybe move Nurkic, I would do so as well, but he's getting extra a lot of money. Not really a good defender. I know Portland fans aren't too high on him than what his stats say, so maybe it could be one of those guys. And last two teams, Warriors, they shouldn't trade anybody, but I heard that they might want to upgrade at center. Hey, if you want to give us Jordan Bell, we'll give you Hernan Gomez and Kyle O'Quinn, but they're not going to trade Jordan Bell. He's part of their future. Maybe they could do Patrick McCaw and like JaVale for like Kyle O'Quinn. I think the Knicks would accept that, taking a 22-year-old shooting guard. And maybe if you did McCaw and Kevin Mooney for Hernan Gomez, or McCaw, Mooney a first for O'Quinn, or something like that, maybe that would work out. And the Wizards, like Gortat, yeah, I would upgrade personally at center over Gortat. I don't know if you could maybe flip for like Valanciunas or something like that, but I would upgrade at center. They have a lot of bad contracts. We're talking about bad contracts. You got Mahimi, Gortat, 2 centers. Why did you give Mahimi that much money? Like, he was pretty good in Indiana, but not $16 million a year worth, but that's maybe something they should consider, but I don't know if that worked out. So that's going to be I hope this video is not too long. It probably is, because I just ramble on, but this is going to be my one player from every team that each team should trade before the deadline, or at the deadline, or somewhere between there. So that's going to be for me. Thank you for watching. If this video can get over 650 likes if you guys did enjoy. Let me know in the comments if you guys disagree with me. Also, give me more suggestions. If you guys want to see one player each team should target, one player each team should target in the draft, one player each team should target in free agency, I'm down for that. Let me know in the comments, and I will be more than happy to do that, because this is fun. It's a little bit different. So yeah, that is going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. Hit that like button if you guys did enjoy. I'm also uploading, I believe, on my third channel and my second channel today. My in real life channel, I think I'm doing like a 20 facts about me on that. So that link will be in the description. And then I'm also probably doing the Bulls offseason rebuild on my second channel, my league series. That is going up today. So the link to that channel is also in the description. So that's going to be for me. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys. See you guys next video. Peace.